Question of the day. X plus y equals 4. X times y equals 16. Solve for x and y. Now you may think the only way this can work is if we have some kind of 4 squared plus some kind of 0 squared is equal to 16. 4 plus 0 equals 4. And 4 squared plus 0 squared equals 16. Now you may think this is correct, but this is not the right answer, and we will go over why. Let's start with this equation, x times y equals 16. I don't like that there's two unknown variables. Let's substitute y for some value of x. So here we have x plus y equals 4. This is gotten from our first equation. We can subtract x from each side, and now we have y equals 4 minus x. Let's put a box around this, and let's bring it up to the top. Okay, now let's substitute y in for this value. So we have x times y, which is also equal to 4 minus x, is equal to 16. From here we can substitute x to each side, so x times 4 is equal to 4x, and x times x is equal to x squared. All of this is still equal to 16. Hopefully you see where this is going. Do you see where this is going? It's turning into a quadratic. Add x squared here, and we could subtract 4x here. And on the right side, we also add x squared and subtract 4x. Let's simplify this a little bit. So now we have x squared minus 4x plus 16. And all of this is equal to 0. Now we can use the quadratic formula to solve for x. The quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. A is equal to 1 in this case, b is equal to negative 4, and c is equal to 16. Great, now let's factor this in. So now we have our quadratic. Let's simplify it a little bit. So negative 4 is equal to 4, still plus or minus roots. Negative 4 squared is equal to 16, minus 4 times 1 times 6 is equal to negative 64. All of this divided by 2, because 2 times 1 is 2. Let's simplify this a little bit. Next, let's substitute this square root. So root of 16 minus 64 is equal to the root of negative 48. Now wait a minute, roots of negatives, how did this happen? Now wait a minute, roots of negatives, how can we solve for this? You can't root a negative. Well, you can when you factor in I, which is equal to the square root of negative 1. Let's break up this a little bit. We have the root of negative 48 is equal to the root of negative 1 times the root of 48. The root of negative 1 is just I, and the root of 48 we can factor is root 4 and root 12. Root 4 is the same thing as 2, and root 12 can be factored into the root 4 and root 3. Root 4 is also the same thing as 2. So now let's multiply this together. 2 times root 3 times I. This comes down to 4i root 3. Let's put a box around this and bring it back up to the top. Okay, so back here we have 4 plus or minus. So back here we have 4 plus or minus the root of negative 48 over 2. Now let's substitute the root negative 48 for this. So 4 plus or minus 4i root 3 over 2. Let's substitute this 2 in here. So we can do 4 over 2 plus or minus 4i root 3 over 2. 4 over 2 is the same thing as 2. And 4i root 3 is the same thing as 2i root 3. Great, we're getting really close. Let's put a box around this, just so we have it secure. Okay, now that we have x, let's try to figure out what y is. So we know that y is equal to 4 minus x. Let's substitute x in for this. So we have y is equal to 4 minus 2 plus or minus 2I root 3. Now we have to substitute this negative in for here. So y is equal to 4 plus negative 2 plus or minus 2I root 3, parenthesis, parenthesis. Okay, so now let's substitute this in. So negative 2 is just negative 2. The negative of plus or minus actually becomes, funnily enough, minus plus. And this may seem a little bit weird, we'll go over it in a second. And this doesn't need to be done because we've already done the minus plus. So we can just bring down 2I root 3. And now we can bring down the 4 and we can bring down the y. And now we have this equation. Alright, now let's group these as like terms. So we have 4 plus negative 2 minus plus this thing, 2I root 3. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 minus plus 2I root 3. And this is equal to y. Now wait, isn't this just x? Look, x is equal to 2 plus or minus 2I root 3. Y is equal to 2, minus plus. So how does that work? Okay, here, so how this works, we have two sets of equations here. So when x is positive, we have 2 plus 2I root 3. But when x is positive, y is negative. That's what this symbol is for. It's to show this is a negative value. So we have 2 minus 2I root 3. And then for the opposite, when x is minus, y is plus. So 2 minus 2I root 3. Y is equal to 2 plus 2I root 3. And that's it. That's everything we need. Let's put a box around that and we are done. How fun.